We've got some news on Elon Musk. I'm sure by now you've seen all the clips, but he is going insane, and you got to give him credit where it's due. This is a pretty insane response, a pretty good clip that he's talked about, and other things too in this interview with the New York Times. And he's standing on his values, and you got to give him credit there. You have to respect it. But he basically had something to tell advertisers on Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it. He had a select few words to say to them.
You don't want them to advertise?
No.
What do you mean?
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go fuck yourself. But go fuck yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. Hey, Bob.
So I would say that is a pretty clear message from Elon Musk. And honestly, it doesn't matter if you're a muskrat or you absolutely hate him. You have to respect the fact that he is standing on what his values are, right? I think everyone can have their own problems with how he enforces things on Twitter, how he goes about it. Is it really free speech? There's a lot of debate you can have. But at the end of the day, he's not bending the knee to advertisers, which other platforms do, right? Because they need the advertising revenue. And at the end here, where he says, "Hi, Bob," he's talking to Bob Iger. I think that's his last name, but basically the CEO of Disney, talking to him because Disney is one of the biggest advertisers on Twitter, and they pulled out over. I don't even remember what this stuff's all about, but they pulled out, and he's they're talking directly to him for a little bit here. So even though, there's a lot of debate, you can have whatever you want, you can say what you want, but, we all clown on Elon for a lot of stuff. We talk about how pretty weird business decisions he's making, the terrible decision to buy Twitter for $44 billion and then scrap the entirety of the brand and change it to something else, killing downloads, doing a lot of stuff. But at least he is standing on what he believes and is trying to work towards that and is not just bending the knee for money. And also, he had a little clip here. This is a 4-minute clip, so this we're not going to play the whole thing, but basically summed up here saying, Elon says the judge is the public. Then Sorkin responds, "And you think that the public is going to say that Disney is making a mistake?" Yes. And they're going to boycott Disney. They already are. And that is true, right? Disney pulled out. There's a lot of drama with Disney and stuff. And people are boycotting Disney and doing stuff, canceling the Disney Plus things, doing all of that. The Musketeers are going to come in strong. We already know Musk has a cult-like following. So they'll go and do that. And on top of that, people like this idea that he's standing up for what he believes in and what he believes is free speech and trying to allow a platform on the internet to just run freely, where you can say what you want, you can try and do whatever, have conversations. People respect that. And in him making this clip, making the rounds, you can see that a lot of people are putting their money behind him, right? A lot of people are upgrading to pay for Twitter, whether it be the $8 a month for the blue check mark or going all the way to Premium Plus, which is like $22 a month. Personally, I mean, I don't know. Maybe at some point we'll pay for Twitter, maybe, right? I don't know if it's really a true free speech platform and stuff, maybe, right? But that's what people are doing. And this is a good marketing tactic, a good thing for him, a good clip where he's rallying people behind him. People who didn't originally pay for Twitter are thinking, okay, yeah, the big brands have been kind of insane lately and they control narratives. And it's good to have a platform that can counter that, or at least be a counterbalance to it, where, you can go to YouTube and get all of the, PC stuff and the toned down stuff for advertiser bucks, and then go to Twitter and kind of see more reckless things and try and things that aren't necessarily going to be supported and advertisers are throwing money at. You can have it both ways, and I think that that's a good thing. But he also had another kind of thing talking about people basically pretending to be good people, and we've seen a lot of it, like the altruism or the virtue signaling, all of these types of things. Sam Bankman-Fried's the most recent example and big example of this. Elon Musk had select words for them too.
What I see all over the place is people who care about looking good while doing evil. Fuck them.
And I think we can all agree with this too. So, 2 clips coming out of this. Another one, people pretending to be good while behind the scenes doing bad things. It's pretty popular, it seems. Obviously, you can't take anything what people say at face value because you don't know what they're doing behind the scenes. Like I said, Sam Bankman-Fried, he's a big example of this. Effective altruism. Oh my God, we're so great. The most generous billionaire in the world. He was scamming people. He was running a Ponzi scheme. He destroyed so many lives. He's not a good person, right? So I think we can all agree that if you're, it'd be much better if people were honest with what they're doing, but that's just not going to happen. And this whole conversation started with him talking about Tesla and him being like, because Tesla's so big and he's the CEO, saying basically he's done more for the environment than anybody else in the planet probably. And, saying that led to this saying, well, people, pretend to care while doing the exact opposite in the background, F them. So I think we can all agree with that. I think there's a lot of clips here that we should be able to agree with. I think Advertisers has gone pretty far on all platforms to kind of control what they deem is acceptable. And if all these platforms just said, we're not doing that, we're not going to censor people because you don't like what they're saying, we're going to let people express themselves and debate amongst themselves. If Google, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all these big tech platforms all came together and said, we're not doing this anymore. We're not going to bend the knee and be forced to deal with advertisers and how they want our platforms to run. Then the advertisers have no choice. Where are they going to advertise? TV? No one's on TV anymore. The newspaper? What are you going to do? You have to use these guys. So the problem is, I've heard a lot of people talk too, is that there's too many people in places of power that think that this is the right thing to do, that think if somebody you disagree with and you don't like them, that you should just censor them. And a lot of people in positions of power in these companies believe that way. They don't think that you should have an open dialogue. They think he's wrong, get him out of here. Like the arbiter of truth, right? Picking and choosing who can say what and who is right, who's good enough to say stuff, who's not. So it'd be better if all the platforms are open. You talked about what you want to have open discourse and won't have to be worried about being banned or shadow banned or kicked out just because you said something that was slightly unpopular to the overall people or overall administration. But that might be a pipe dream at this point. These social media networks have all kind of shown their colors and shown what they're going to do. So we'll see what happens. Maybe Twitter's the kickstart of this, and Twitter, gets all these platforms to think, yeah, we got a lot more power than we've let on. So they can really do whatever they want, because these advertisers aren't going to go to traditional media and advertise. No one's there, right? They're not going to convert there. They're going to convert on the social media sites. So we'll see how it plays out. But all in all, these two clips from Elon, I don't think you have to be a musketeer to, kind of like them and say that he's on the right path here. And maybe this is the future of these platforms. Who knows? That's going to do it for this video. As always, remember to smash the like button and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in my next video.